Welcome back to CCL. We got the Academy Grand Finals set in stone. Fisher Falcons, FGCU Esports. It's going to be a good one. And as always, myself, Seymour, alongside the lovely Cruisin. How you doing, buddy? Are you ready for this?
I mean, we just saw a reverse sweep in losers finals. I'm ready for anything right now, Colin. Plain and simple. I'm ready for absolutely anything. Let's be honest here. We know Fisher's looking really strong, very, very tough to beat. But I mean, man, the fire and the life we just saw at FGCU in that losers finals. It's going to be a tough road to a grand finals victory here today. But if any team can do it in the Academy, it's got to be this team.
It's got to be FGCU Academy. I mean, I think it's better going in after a win than it is going in fresh off the Friars versus Fisher Falcons. So let's see if they can do it. But introducing our first roster going into the grand finals, they have been undeniable so far through Academy, Fisher Esports, Bala, Hunted, Moxie, Druxy, Jesse. You know, I want to sit here and I want to say that Druxy, this is his second time in a CCL Grand Final. Last time, he didn't get the chip, but this time around with Bala, Hunted, Moxed, Druxy looks like he's got a team of killers ready to take this chip.
He absolutely does, and it should be to nobody's surprise that this team is in the Grand Finals. They have been the best Academy team this year, no question, and their team is stacked. This team is absolutely stacked. They could take on a lot of the regular teams inside of the CCL. Let's be real, right? For a second here. Druxy, very good, like you said. He played in the regular finals last year, the regular grand finals, I should say, of the CCL LAN last year. Walked away with the loss, but now goes down to the Academy team. Doesn't make the main team this year. Then you got Bala, Hunted, and Mox for him to go around with. Hunted looks like a different breed of a submachine gun player looking at what we saw from that winners finals here today. This team is going to be very, very tough to beat.
I feel like looking at Hunted in that series to start, this feels like a story that is starting and it will blossom into something new. I mean, Hunted is just a freshman right now in the CCL. I can only imagine how much this player will grow throughout the years, and alongside Bala and Mox, like I said, looking to get this one done. But let's look at the other side of the field. Florida Gulf Coast Academy. Jesse, if you asked me what school would be in the grand finals of Academy, and I was looking at this bracket from the start, I'll be honest, this is not the team I would have had making the run, but here we are. Florida Gulf Coast, they have just fought against the odds, grinded their way into the grand finals, reverse swept our previous victors of the Academy series, and now look to place against the Demons in Fisher Falcons.
And a really good run for them, right, to get here. They go up against St. Clair in the winners round 2 matchup. They beat St. Clair 3-0. They go up against Fisher Esports winners round 3. That's when they lose their first match in playoffs. But then they drop down to the losers bracket, and this is where we've seen this team hit their best form that we've seen all year. They go into the losers round 4, 3-0 over FIU. They go to the next round, 3-0 over COD LSU. They go to the next round, 3-0 over Iowa, and then a 3-0 over the UCF Knights in the losers semifinals to set them up in the losers finals, where we just saw them. You know what? It wasn't a 3-0, but it was 3 in a row when they make the reverse sweep, and they came back. And a fantastic comeback it was there against the Hilltoppers as they were able to take down SCU and find themselves here in the Grand Finals. This team is looking good, and I can't wait to see them show up here in this Grand Finals.
I mean, you're right. If there's anybody that you're going to be looking at, Apollo, Minty, this duo, they need to start off strong and never look back. But let's look at this head-to-head. Jesse, 21-0 for Fisher. Only one loss so far this season. And that loss was all the way back against Northwood Academy. So Northwood Academy, they got DFR'd inside of the Academy bracket. So if Northwood Academy was able to take a map off of this team and nobody else has, I wonder if that's going to be replicated or if that's just the blemish on what could have been a spotless record.
We'll just have to wait and find out, right? We will just have to wait and find out. These two teams, though, they did match up earlier in the bracket. Winners round 3, like we hinted on earlier. And in that matchup, it was a 3-0 for Fisher College. It was a 250 to 217 map 1, 6-1 in map 2, and a 3-2 victory in map number 3. Unfortunately, we don't have the maps that they played, but we do have the scores. And, I mean, nonetheless, it looks like it was a fairly dominant performance. The hard point and the control, though, both very close, so let's keep our eyes on the respawns in this series.
Brand new day, and the glass slipper is on for the Cinderella run of Florida Gulf Coast Academy. Let's set the mood, Jesse, for the best of 5. You asked me, do we ban out Hotel? Fisher, say no. Hotel Control, Hotel Hardpoint, maps 3 and 4. We get the Embassy, El Asilo, Hotel Fortress.
Colin, I am flabbergasted looking at this map set. How the heck does Florida Gulf Coast ban out Hotel Search and Destroy when they just ran the pockets of St. Edwards on that map? They beat them 6-2. They looked great on that map. They lost El Asilo, and they picked El Asilo for map 2. I don't understand the map vetoes. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to put my whole focus on it and be like, oh, man, they're throwing the series. But that is one where I think that could be a big mistake come this series.
Gonna have to wait and see heading into this map number 1, Jesse. Like I said, I mean, if there's anybody you need to put your money on right now for FGCU Academy, has to be Minty and Crazy for this map. The subs, they need to heat up. They need to look forward and never look back. Force Fisher into an uncomfortable spot, and already Minty opens up with first blood. Crazy looking to take control of Papers. He's going to get it.
Absolutely does. Up top, Florida Gulf Coast trying to just get a little bit of time here off the start of this game, trying to see what they can find over towards P2 as well. We know that that's what they like to hold on to. Probably the best hill that they held in our last series in that losers finals against SEU was hill number 2. That's where they got their most time.
Yeah, well, Florida Gulf Coast, they only get 5 seconds here with P1. Crazy was doing a great job at just making some noise up top admin, but they don't flip the spawns, and Fisher still in control. Minty working from behind, finds the kill into Bala. Now working to flip things out. Poldo gets a second one. The spawns in the back for FGCU Academy, and here's your chance, Jesse, to get that time.
But you do have Fisher, though, pushing in completely from the front. They have all the angles watched right now if you're Fisher, and you're able to push your way all the way into this hill, and it's hunted again. Colin, 6-0, off to a fantastic start here. This was the player we highlighted coming into this series. Looked really good in that winners finals, looking really good again here in the losers finals.
I didn't even notice that he was 6-0, but that cruise missile going to be so pivotal in the coming rounds. Crazy at Apollo. Big key, couple kills. They both find 4, and the flawless break for 25 seconds. Now Fisher going to divert their attention over towards this P3 rotation. The AC already occupied. Minty and Poldo sitting here, looking to lock things down on the rotation. Honet's going to be the first one around. 6-1, looking for 7. You're going to get it with the trade. 1 versus 1 for Poldo, and there it is.
Poldo still sitting up top here. Gets another one with Crazy watching over the top. Crazy goes for 2. And that's a great answer back here from Florida Gulf Coast. Unfortunately, with the glide bomb dropping down from the skies, the cruise missile does a lot of damage, and it will take down all 3 up top. And that early streak coming in from Hunted pays full effect.
I didn't even hear the cruise missile come in. I mean, that was so fast. Decisive from Hunted. Couple kills from FGCU to deny this early time, but Fisher, they will get into the hill. 3-4 seconds, not done yet. Inside of Orange, Mox watching the stairs, denying of some pressure inside from FGCU Academy. Apollo's going to hop onto the ladder, but immediately as Bala spots him, they just fly.
And you try to push around here, but Minty with the shutdown on the outside. But Druxy gets into a spot in the back line of the embassy building here. Will actually pull the spawn of 1 as well as Bala spawns up on them. So they can still try to pull back. They can try to hold on to this next hill. Poldo's going to try to fight this one from the back. Bala from the side will actually win a big one-on-one. Now you have an opportunity to break, but it's just Bala alone. Nade will come in. They'll clean up the kill. And this is a fantastic break here. 2 players working in unison perfectly here from Fisher Esports to find that break.
25-point lead at Fisher, looking to grow. On it, get some eyes onto Crazy, but what is that? Beautiful, wicked kill. The subs looking to control. Now 2 players locking down for the inside for Fisher. Apollo, Crazy looking to get eyes on. No help other than the 2 of them, but Crazy's going to get spotted out. Apollo killed, Crazy dropped, and 3 down for FGCU.
And yeah, this is a spot now in the map where if you're FGCU, you're just chalking that time up. You need to just set up now for a full kitchen hold here and go for your absolute all on this moment. Hunt it from the top. Will find one inside of Orange. Goes into the hill. Almost finds the second in the hill as well. So it's not going to be a completely solid setup here from the likes of Fisher as Florida Gulf Coast now trying to wrap in from the front.
FGCU Academy, one thing that this team is doing really well is making these hills scrappy, and P5 is something that they can shine on crazy. I mean, a player to win these close engagements, staying alive when you need it, now starting to collect time for the team. You do have a couple of players spawning out for FGCU, so they're going to have to get here fast to help out Crazy and Poldo in this position, but Poldo's going to get shot from behind, overwhelmed inside Crazy, and a flawless break back in for the Falcons.
Great break from the Falcons there to get back inside of the hill. Like you said, 4 in a row. Don't allow anything here from FGCU in terms of getting towards this hill. And again, Florida Gulf Coast on Embassy Hardpoint, a map where they struggled with in the losers finals, struggling with it again here, and almost a 100-point lead once again at the end of the first set of rotations. This is not what you wanted to see from FGCU in this first map against Fisher.
I will say, Jess, yeah, one thing that's just different for Fisher than, St. Edwards, that's going to be even harder for FGCU is the pacing that these players play at. I think just Mox and Hunted run at a different speed than FGCU are used to, and that is something that could be a killer. You see Poldo and Apollo both are struggling after one set. Poldo 7-11, Apollo 7-16. So you look at these ARs to see if they can start finding their form and lock down these lanes. As Apollo have 2 players cross it, can't even find the first. 2 kills for Fisher as they're looking to again lock down the spawns for P2.
Yeah, and Colin, I completely agree with you. The biggest surprise to me right now is Apollo. Apollo played fantastic in our losers finals, is really struggling against the ARs right now on the side of Fisher. When you look at Druxy at 15-7 right now, and across the board you look at Apollo at 7-18, really struggling, needs to find a way to turn it up here. Crazy will hop in, should get these last 13 seconds, but when you look across the map again, all the Fisher Esports players going to spawn up over towards P2, looking to try to get a big hold here.
In position to punish, Mox doesn't even know. First kill to maybe disorientate Fisher on the rotation. Paulo going to be in a great spot to punish a couple of players, but Druxy, beautiful shots with attack. Crazy playing fantastic in the Embassy, but is it going to be enough? Fisher in for the hill, 50 seconds to count. And now for the break, the collapse. Florida Gulf Coast need to find a couple kills. Apollo's going to find first. Crazy, a second. Crazy gets dropped, though, and Druxy's still alive on 6. No, can't get number 6. Apollo's going to shut that down, but even still, Fisher walk away with the points.
Yep, Bala makes the big break there. 30 seconds left on the hill. Still lots of time to play for. Should get contested here, though. Poldo will try to break this one from the back, just laying down in the contest spot. Ends up losing it out. So the last 20 seconds now will go into the favor of Bala. When you look on the rotation, it's Hunted trying to win it down. Crazy, though, pops one. Almost does enough to drop Druxy as well. The nades will come in over the top, but nothing's going to be enough here at the moment for Fisher Esports to stop this run. Minty tries to break in. They can't find it. This is rough. And now, if you're looking at Fisher Esports, you got a chance to win it here on top AC.
1-76. 100-point club so far for FGCU Academy. They haven't really been able to get their bearings yet on Embassy, but Crazy 19-12. Just looking to prolong to see if your team can heat up. Minty back in to win a crucial 1v1. Expecting the pressure around to the left, but instead it's Mox from behind. The break back in for Fisher Falcons. And now with 32 seconds, you cannot win this map on hill number 3. We will be seeing a hill 4 Jesse on rotation.
Yeah, you do basically just enough, right? If you're FGCU to stop them being able to close this one out here. But when you look across the map, you're also losing the gunfights now on rotation. Mox set up down low. We've got Bala now pushing in as well. So this is going to be a tough hold. FGCU don't come out with the gunfight victories yet as well. Going to be a one-on-one between Moxed. Oh, I was going to say a one-on-one, but all the players from FGCU spawn up at new, now with an opportunity to get a big hold.
No chance for the break, but Bala is going to get some eyes on the Poldo. A little bit of damage down range. Druxy from tennis going to get the better of the ARs. Now to collapse. Surge forward for the Falcons. Looking for the flawless break yet again. Minty from the outside looking in. Mox runs forward. 11 seconds left for the win in map number 1. Falcons looking to make some noise here in the start of this grand final. Dominate their competition and set the mood for this grand final match. Fisher Falcons 100-point club map 1.
250-92, and I mean, if our losers finals was anything to go off of, this was a very rough map for Fisher Esports, a map that they did not play very well at, and it just kind of continued on here inside of this. You're going up against a much better team in Fisher College, and they absolutely pop off once again here on this map. I mean, look at that. Bala 23 and 17, Druxy 24 and 9. I mean, crazy stats across the board there from the Fisher Esports players. They looked kind of close to the first little couple hills, but as soon as you got into those situations where you needed a big hold from Florida Gulf Coast, they could just never get that hold. It was just constant breaks from Fisher over and over again, and they just ran away with it.
Fisher continue with the flawless map count so far in playoffs. They haven't dropped a map yet through the bracket, Jesse, all the way through the winners bracket. They win map 1 here, and the chance for a flawless run stays alive. What a map number 1 out of them, too. Lots of highlights. This early play, though, from Hunted to call that cruise missile was so influential to just continue the snowball at the start of this series. I mean, 100-40 at one point. Hunted 360, 180, trying to do everything he can to just continue with the pressure. I feel like he just does not let go of the left stick.
Yeah, absolutely. Hunted is just always on the prowl, right? It feels like they're just always pushing forward. You're absolutely correct. Always holding down that left stick, trying to find every piece of kill that they can, every engagement that they can inside of the map. And you know what? I mean, against some other teams, it could really hurt you. But honestly, with the way that they're shooting right now against these other Academy teams, it feels like Hunted is just on another level from these players here. 250-92, we see the end of the map. We're going to get to see the scoreboard here once again. And I was highlighting the first 2 players in Bala and Druxy, but also we do need to highlight Hunted in that map. 27 and 16. Mox goes negative somehow at 16 and 18, but I mean, it doesn't really matter when the rest of the team is popping off the way they were.
Exactly. I mean, you just need to coast at that point. Like we saw back in map 1 of the series against FGCU. I mean, Fisher Falcons, they have their Slayers, and they have the people who are just going to get the job done in the objective, and that's okay. That's the recipe to success, and that is what's getting them this flawless run so far. But for Florida Gulf Coast, I mean, you and I both talked about it. Apollo, 13 and 29. The catalyst on why FGCU Academy were able to make that reverse sweep back in the last series. 13 and 29 is just not the numbers that we expect to see from them. A little bit of a struggle fest when it came to that AR battle. Poldo 2, 9 and 20. So moving forward as we head into the El Asilo Search and Destroy, map number 2, it's something we need to see. Apollo went 10 and 7 in the Search and Destroy against SCU. And now going into El Asilo Search and Destroy against Fisher, you need to see a repeat against that from Apollo.
Absolutely. We saw Apollo and Minty both go 10 and 7 actually on that map, going crazy for the likes of FGCU. And now we need to see them do it again, but they need a full effort. I mean, Poldo, I know they were playing a lot of antenna in that last series. I don't think you play them out there every single round. Maybe a few if you need to just kind of feel things out. But also, if you need to start making those adjustments, I think Poldo needs to either pick up another sub and run it down low, or you have that AR and you watch over your team down low, because you just need to be in more engagements. Poldo had very little engagements in that map number 2 in the losers finals, and I think that's why they walked away with that loss in El Asilo. And then when you look at Crazy, I mean, Crazy had a very slow map, but also Crazy has been on fire since the reverse sweep of that last series. He was the only player to go positive on FGCU in map number 1 here, and Crazy needs to continue that good form here inside of map number 2, and then needs help from the rest of the players here, the support players of FGCU.
I think something that we learned back in our losers final is that FGCU, they just need that spark. And Crazy just continues to strike the flame again and again for this team, eventually hoping that somebody's going to catch on. Somebody's going to heat up alongside them. And when that happens, that's when you're going to see Florida Gulf Coast stabilize. But it's until somebody else heats up with Crazy, they will struggle against Fisher. I think this team, when you're looking at Fisher Falcons, their slaying prowess is just so punishing, and it's so hard to fight against. You're always finding engagements against this team. Somebody's always going to be up in your face, whether it's hunted or mocked. And when you do finally find your way past them, then you have the ARs of Bala and Druxy, who have just been coasting alongside the map, making sure they anchor their lanes. And it's hard when you have a system to fight against like that. So for Florida Gulf Coast, starting on the defense, let's see if they can start hot on the attack. Fisher Falcons looking towards A. The stun doesn't look like it's going to hit, but you do have Minty and Crazy on the crossfire. Minty's going to be able to find one, but the trade from Mocked for 2.
Yep, Mocked. Big trade there. Bomb should go down now. And Bala will find the snipe through the outside of the map as well. So it's just Apollo now with the sniper in hand. Rocks right into Druxy's setup, watching top money, and shuts that down completely there. 1-0 lead very quickly off the bat for Fisher here inside of this map number 2. And Colin, I hate to say it, but Parker came through clutch once again here. Actually just hit me with the map scores. So kind of get a little bit more of an insight as to why we're not seeing that hotel search and destroy come through here. It was a 6-1 victory in that winners round 3. For Fisher Esports over FGCU on map 2 Hotel Search and Destroy, so I can see why they don't want to go back to that map now.
Yeah, stay clear of that one. But LSELO still continues to show turmoil for FGCU Academy. Somebody's gonna have to turn around. Crazy with bomb in hand, working alongside Minty. You see Mox is going to be in a position towards pillars to maybe start this flank. Doors open, Hunnit behind the table. How much can you take away from this team? Hunnit just needs to wait for some action. And here we go. Hunnit on the table. Pressured out. Nobody's going to check it. Hunnit gets one.
Gets one. Crazy instantly going to be putting that bomb down. The trade's going down back and forth like crazy. And Mox on the flank finds the last 2. The bomb planter caught with his pants down. And that's a quick round there for Fisher Esports. I think they're just playing at a pace right now that FGCU is just not ready for, Colin.
They're 2 steps behind all the time. Even, I think, you just need to gain some confidence here if you're Florida Gulf Coast Academy. And it's easier said than done against the Fisher Falcons, but you need to. And until then, this is where you see that Mox is going to run all over these flanks. Immediately you see wherever he is on the map, Mox is always in a position to follow up after Hunnit. Into this round, Bala still got the sniper all the way top green. Player number 5, Poldo, to be all the way deep towards B, and it looks like Hunnit looking to work their way over towards this side. A couple shots going to ring out. Poldo has yet to get some action. He's going to play so far back while this bomb gets planted.
Yeah, I think Poldo actually was able to spot out those stuns and nades coming in over the top. So they should have an idea that Poldo is back here in that spot, but unfortunately, Balo goes down. This is FGCU's best shot at being able to close a round out here. Apollo's going to open the door. A bad surprise awaits on the other side as Hunnit just goes crazy. Will get the trade. So a 2v3. Poldo's still alive, but needs to find this defuse.
Hunnit's able to bring Poldo down to 35 HP, but the res. Regen. Druxy 1v3. Nade into the side. The defuse coming through. Druxy's not even going to get eyes on the bomb. The kill to open it up, but nothing more than that. FGCU Academy bounce back.
That's the problem, right? When you get that bomb down at B sometimes, it's very tough to hold on to that bomb site when you lose the players that were initially playing inside of it. It is absolutely crucial that Mox and Hunnit stay alive there in that situation to be able to hold on to that round. As soon as those 2 players go down and your last player is coming from field, it's so easy to hold that, especially when you have the numbers and they hold that to perfection. Great retake from FGCU there in that round.
Back onto the attack for these players, though. Back to A again, Jesse. Hunnit's not going to be on the inside. Instead, they're working around the bridge with Mox. Druxy, what a win from an angle. Minty, you could barely see him. Apollo, unaware that the flank is still an opportunity. Hunnit's just waiting for a chance and a mistake.
I'm honestly surprised that Hunnit didn't fly off that stun onto Apollo there. 4-3 life lead here for Fisher. Bala just holding the entire side of field right now. But Poldo, through the outside of the map, will find the trade and gets away with their life. Mox not able to hit the hop up either. And oh my god, Mox almost runs right into Crazy down low. Crazy will follow up with the kill. So now a 2v3. They've put the numbers back into their favor if you're FGCU.
Ball's Pop Daddy looking to make the hero play. Pistol and a sniper. Is it enough? Well, yeah, when Crazy's looking the wrong way. Bomb down, you recover the fast nav, and you get a little bit of an upgrade. 30 seconds left, and even 2 versus 2. Boomstick does not catch the player crossing. Apollo finds Druxy. Balla back to the fast nav. 1 versus 1. 20 seconds, and it's going to be Poldo with the attack, keeping FGCU tied up.
And what did we say about Poldo? They needed to be more engaged in the map. couldn't be sitting out at antenna or out on those off angles for the entire map, and this is why. Paldo already with more kills in this map through 4 rounds than what we saw all of the last LSELO. Massive 1v1 to bring the numbers back into their favor in the early portions of that round, and a massive 1v1 at the end of the round there to give FGCU some life in this map, tie us up at 2-2. Great job from them. Now we need to see what they can do on offense, because last time on offense, I mean, it wasn't the prettiest round, but they got the job done, and they got the defense as well in the last round. So it's been a good answer back, but they still need to keep that pressure on.
A little bit of a drop of blood from Fisher. Is it enough to grow into a wound? Well, FGCU, Minty can be forced out from the nade. Still alive. Back Kegs. What is the cross there from Kegs? It's going to force the opening blood now for Crazy to have to fight back. 1-for-1 trade. Not going to be good enough. Still a life advantage.
It was a second nade that forced them out of Kegs there. They were tagged up, so the nade would have killed them either way. So they tried to get out on the cross. Unfortunately, don't get the attack sprint that they want. Can't get out with their lives. And now it's a 2v3 retake here for FGCU. Paldo's looking to see if they can find any angle from the top side here. But they are just playing back-to-back, and Druxy's got the flank covered here. This is going to be a very tough retake here now for FGCU.
Trophy's going to get destroyed. No nades for Poldo, but possibly from Apollo. Yeah, the Semtex, but Druxy's going to get an angle from up top, repositioning to office, and there's the 1 versus 3 now for Apollo with 20 seconds. Nobody throwing a shoulder from inside. Damage onto Apollo, 54 HP, and he's funneled into Druxy, who gets the remaining 2 kills.
A really good round there from Fisher Esports, just to kind of answer back, right? You had a good kind of life rebound there from FGCU. Fisher, though, they say, nah, we're not going down like that. We're going to bring this one back immediately there. And it was some really good tactical and nade usage off the start of the round that found that first blood. And then they were initially able to push with numbers into the A site, get that bomb down. And once you get that bomb down in a 3v2, I mean, man, it is so hard to retake that bomb site in a full 4-on-4 situation, let alone in a situation where you're down on numbers, and you can see exactly why at the end of that round there. Back on offense, though, will be FGCU. Looking for anything over the top here. Druxy will get tagged up by that nade, but not going to be enough. And unfortunately, Paldo does not expect the aggression here from Bala. Puts the sniper away, pulls out the Vaznev, finds the first blood.
Mox, a lot on his plate. 2 kills, finds it. Maybe 3. Mox, okay. That's the Falcon effect right there. Mox to the sub. You put it in his hand, he gets the job done.
Wow. And, I mean, we didn't really get to see that much out of Mox inside of the first series. Oh, Bala stole the Bala. Come on. He had that.
Mox finds that no matter what.
He had that. Come on, Bala. That could have been a clip. No, I mean, good stuff. Good teamwork out of it, obviously, there. But I think Mox had that one in the bag no matter what there, Colin. But yeah, I mean, we didn't really see this out of Mox in that first series. It was more Hunnit that was constantly going off. But now the submachine gun duo and Mox really getting a good opportunity to show what they've got here in this map and doing it to full effect.
2 rounds down. See if they can repeat a little bit of a comeback. Hunnit's going to get the... So thought he'd get the stun of the Crazy, but no. Doesn't matter. Lots of damage. Hunnit on the hunt. Doesn't know where he went, but still going to finish the kill. So A-Site now in control of Fisher Esports, and that's the bomb for Hunnit 2 to possibly plant.
I'm going down today. This will be a free plant here. Can't fight this off. Minty trying to see if they can find a wall bang. Won't find anything either with that. But you can see the players now on Fisher Esports. They're trying to circulate, trying to find their way into this. Minty finds one, but unfortunately traded immediately. And Paldo in no situation to find that trade. And again, going to be stuck top window of their side of the map here. Trying to see if they can find their way in. And as soon as they take that shot, it is about to be game over. It absolutely is. Fisher Esports put another round on the board. It was looking so good. It was 2-2. Everything was flowing for both teams. But since then, Fisher has absolutely taken control of the middle of the map here, Colin, and they have not allowed anything to go through Kegs and go through that A site for free, and it is working out full effect right now for Fisher Esports.
The Falcons just being very thorough with their attacks. They put their serious pants on, and FGCU Academy just haven't been able to do much. And Poldo, it kind of goes back to the point that you made going into this map. Nowhere to be found to help out Minty in that situation. So Minty kind of just left high and dry in an individual 1v3 for themselves. Hunnit's going to be looking for the flank to see if you can put this away fast. Apollo, no idea what's coming. It's Hunted for 4th kill in the map.
And again, just the submachine gun duo playing at such a fast pace right now for FGCU. It's so tough to be able to fight back when they're playing like that. Bala with the AR in hand as well. Everybody getting aggressive here. Bomb does go down, but this is going to need to be a monumental hold inside of the A site.
Oh, Crazy's going to fly. Minty gets 2. 2 versus 1. Can he get out? Playing their life, 50 HP. The defuse, though, immediately going to be hopped. Minty's got to go. He has to check this for the Ninja. Minty might not be able to get there in time. And no, Fisher Esports stick it out. Pros don't fake. And map number 2 to go up 2-0.
I mean, you gotta love the fight there from Minty. Still put their absolute best on. Almost wins the gunfight onto Hunted there, and it just wouldn't have been enough. You immediately had to challenge that bomb site, but no idea that Mox got on that bomb as quickly as they did. And unfortunately, they just played the numbers advantage. It was a 4v1 essentially at that point. You won the first one as soon as your teammate goes down. A 1v3 technically, but it still felt like a 1v4. Very tough to close off, and unfortunately just were not able to get the job done there if you're Minty. And Florida Gulf Coast, it was close through the start, but Fisher really just took over with the pace of play in that map.
Yeah, FGCU Academy, I mean, they're struggling to put a leash on these players. They're just running all over the map. Even Bala at the end there took out a Vastnev, just decided, hey, we're on map point. Really, FGCU Academy, they have to force the issue, and instead, they ramp up the pace yet again. They hit another level, and Apollo, he didn't know what hit him towards that back staircase. So, you know, a couple good rounds from FGCU Academy. They bring it back to a 2-2, but as soon as that happened, as soon as that 1v1 from Poldo, this Fisher did not let anything slip after that. This Moxed almost 3-piece was disgusting. A couple shots at the end to let them know. And again, when you look back at this and everything that happened, just players winning their individual fights, players just superstars over at Fisher.
Yeah, and like I kind of was alluding to in that map, they did a really good job dominating the middle of the map, and especially in and around that A site, to shut down everything that FGCU had to throw at them. But at what point, though, does FGCU start to expect these players on the flank? Because there was a few rounds in a row where defensively, Fisher just kept sending players in through field. It was once it was once it was Bala, then it was Hunted later in the game. It's like, at what point do you start to expect that flank to come through? They never do. And it was almost a free kill on every single defense for Fisher that we saw, at least in the back half of that game, after the 2-2 split. Once they got that big advantage, it just felt like they were never ready for that late push through field. And it was just instant man advantage to Fisher and an easy closeout on every one of those defenses because of it. So FGCU, got to go back to the drawing board here, Colin, and at least we go to a double hotel next, which we've seen them look very good at so far here today.
Yeah, I think it kind of goes back to, you know, what separates a good team from a great team. And, you know, a good team, you know, they can default to attacking the A site or watching the flank. And, you know, a great team like Fisher right now, they prove that they can do both at the same time. You got Hunted, a player who could just put pressure on the front line, and while that happens, you have to worry about the flank from Bala or Moxed. So, I mean, there's just so much on the agenda for Florida Gulf Coast Academy, and now they have to go back-to-back and reverse sweep just to get a second best of 5 here in the grand finals for their chance for a championship. Fisher Falcons, flawless so far, 1 map left for their championship. We got Control coming up next, folks. You don't want to miss it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to CCL. The Academy Finals have been Fisher Esports' game to lose so far. I mean, flawless throughout the bracket, and it doesn't stop here. A 100-point club in the hard point, a 6-2 in the search and destroy, Jesse. We head to Hotel Control. Now, this is where FGCU Academy were able to turn things around against the Hilltoppers, but I don't know right now. Against Fisher Esports, it just seems like nobody's been able to get things going.
The Falcons are a different beast, right? And it's just an absolute true fact right now that these guys are just on a different level. However, Colin, this is the one map, I think, that if we're going to see any map get won by Florida Gulf Coast University, it will be this map mode combination on Hotel Control. Fisher Esports, they looked a little rough on this map mode combination when we saw them play it the last time against SEU in the winners finals. And Florida Gulf Coast kind of smoked SEU on this map. So I think if we're going to see any one map mode combination that FGCU has a good opportunity at winning, this has to be the map. And I mean, if they want to stay alive, they definitely have to win this map.
And it goes back to our usual suspects. Apollo, Crazy, Minty. They need to start putting down some pressure and shutting down the SMG's Moxed and Hunted, because if not, I mean, you see that Poldo struggles with the high velocity pacing that Fisher Esports have been providing, and so does the rest of the team. But if Apollo, Crazy, and Minty can heat up and start fighting back, you're going to start seeing, you know, a player like Poldo get a little bit more comfortable on this map, and you need that right now. You need all 4 players to be firing on all cylinders. So going into this hotel, it's going to be crucial that we get Apollo, Crazy, and Minty playing in full form.
The other thing I really hope for right now, if I'm Florida Gulf Coast University, is that you don't hang your heads low. You need to be coming out this full confidence still that you have an opportunity to win this map and flip this series on its head, because you absolutely do. When you look at the last time these two teams played each other on Control, it was this exact same map mode combination, and it was a 3-2 victory for Fisher Esports. So you've already won 2 rounds off of Fisher. You know you have an opportunity to do it again here. Fisher didn't look the greatest on this map mode combination earlier today. You have every opportunity in the world. Don't hang your heads low. Come out, keep the fight going, and take your opportunities where they are. Limit mistakes. You can still come back here inside of this map mode combination, but it won't be easy. Fisher Esports already off the offense. Bala finds that first blood with a nade, and immediately this high octane offense pushing forward through the middle of the map.
Yeah, Poldo already sidelined by Hunted. Minty's going to get caught in the crossfire too. Hunted now looking for a little bit extra, while the rest of the respawns for Fisher looking to collect some time here over towards B, or some progress on it. Apollo gets a crucial kill back on them, but nobody checks Hunted in the corner. Druxy's got the backup. 3 kills for Fisher. It's all down to Poldo to see if he can pull something back, and even that is going to stop.
And they get 2 people onto B, and they are looking to close this one out here. Trying to get this last tick of progression. Minty will challenge through middle of the map. Gets 1, unfortunately can't get the second. The B zone goes through. 2 life lead here for Fisher Esports. And 2 minutes on the clock to try to get 3 ticks of progression over towards A.
I will say one thing, you know, that SCU early on was doing that you didn't see FGCU Academy, you know, replicate, was denying Hunted and getting into D1. That is going to be such a hard plan for FGCU Academy to take control of going forward. Something that will need to change. But looking at this one, over towards A, Poldo going to be overwhelmed by numbers, and Hunted's going to hop this right away. Players ready to stack. You have a flank from Crazy. This could be the way back in, but it does look like a couple players are going to hear this. Mox is going to cut down the support, all down to Crazy to make the play. And here he comes. Ball is going to be the first one to fall. Poldo, a huge kill on a Mox. 3rd tick getting work done. Hunted turns around at a bad time, but even still, Crazy goes down, and Hunted solidifies the round.
And that's all 6 ticks of progression going to the way of Fisher. Not a whole lot of fight from FGCU there in that round number 1. Crazy did their absolute best in the back line there, but unfortunately just peak at the wrong time. Almost the right time, though. Almost perfectly caught Hunted as soon as they turned around, but they couldn't find it. Unfortunately, you lose out on the round there. It's a great response there from Fisher. You get immediately onto B, finish it off, get immediately onto A, finish it off. And if we were ever doubting that they could play this map mode combination well, I think they just shut us up completely there, Colin.
Oh, yeah. That was a tough one. A stinger, too, after what we saw against the Hilltoppers for FGCU. I'm going to have to see if they can replicate that going forward. Nice shots for Crazy to open up, but wasn't able to finish their food. Hunted and Bala both combined for 2 to lock down the middle of the map. You're going to have a couple players stack this A zone right away for Florida Gulf Coast, but here comes Fisher Esports. The flank, the pressure from the front is pressuring down to the shoulders of these players, and Apollo, the only one able to get a kill.
The front, the back, the side, it did not matter. Fisher was coming from every angle all at once, and they immediately shut down that B push. They do get 2 ticks of progress, though. So as soon as these players get cleaned up over towards B here, they can immediately spawn up back inside a kitchen. That 3rd tick of progress should come through unless Fisher is able to get over there very quickly to shut this down, but I doubt that comes through. Now you need to make sure, though, that you can get your exits out, though, because right now Fisher's going to try to pick you off, and they find all 4 before A can be finished. Fisher is playing at another level right now, Colin.
Yeah, Fisher is everything everywhere all at once, and they are getting an Oscar for this performance on their retakes. Everywhere across across the map. Hunnit's turn to go 4 in a row. Misses out in the Semtex too, so you're able to stay alive. Top bedroom. Only 1 tick over towards B, and not even 1 tick's going to be locked down. You got 2 ticks to A,
God.
half a tick at B, and you're stuck in your spawn.
Oh my God, Fisher, I take it back. I take it back when I said that this could have been your worst map that we've seen you play today. Putting on a masterclass right now of hotel control. Finally, if you're FGCU, you're going to get onto A. You'll finish it off. You have a minute 20 to work with, but Colin, the lives are just so not in favor. If you are FGCU and you're going to win this round, you need to find an immediate break onto B and just completely wipe Fisher off the map, and I do not see that happening right now.
Yeah, 14 life lead. Mox in top bedroom. Ballah's gonna drop towards Statue, so maybe a couple players gonna peel back, but instead they hold their ground. Apollo off of Druxy going to fall in that forward position. 7 lives remaining. All 4 players backed up, and look at number 1 on the map. All the way over towards that top catwalk. Druxy can spot a couple of these players on the cross, but Apollo puts that to rest. Breathes some life into these players. Apollo's going to get a second one. Apollo on that godheady. Poldo may have just brought this back.
There's an opportunity here. 2 players alive. You'll hop on to B. We've seen the likes of FGCU do this once before as well. They hold on to it. They get 2 ticks of progress. Poldo goes down, though. Balda needs to make the push from the front. Both teams collapsing, but they can't find the kills. Florida Gulf Coast with a massive life disadvantage still get the job done. We're tied at 1-1.
7 lives to 22. FGCU, they do not care at all. I mean, we've seen that so many times on Hotel. I don't think I could even count it on both of my hands. The amount of times you see a team at such a deficit on the attack and just a clean 4 down is all it takes. Beautiful from FGCU. The resilience in this map to stay alive. 1-1 we go in the control, Jesse. Something I did not expect after where we were.
FGCU had their backs completely up against the wall. If you could go any further back, they were going to find it. And they pushed their way forward. They somehow found their way onto it. And now FGCU, off the start of this round, immediately losing B once again. 4 kills go the way of Fisher, hopping onto it immediately. And now everybody's spotting out. Minty on the flank still gets caught. And this should be the B zone done.
Not just yet, Jesse. Poldo's going to get a kill into Balla, slow down the progression. Druxy, however, has different plans. They stack 2 onto B, and now this is where you might think it's over for the B zone. It's going to get cleaned up. Let's look over to A.
And a big life lead here for Fisher right now, 27-22. The full map spread once again here from FGCU as they look to try to shut down these Fisher players as they push over towards A. Last time they were unsuccessful in doing so. It was a lot of kills going the way of Fisher. They got on immediately and they just completely held out Florida Gulf Coast. This time through, though, much better start here for FGCU. You do still have a few players in and around the point where you can kind of try to shut them down. But now coming off respawn, these kills are absolutely crucial.
I mean, you see teams oftentimes when A's the last zone left are able to lock it down quite easily, but against a player like Hunnit, you think that eventually things are going to come crashing down. It's just a matter of when, not if. Balla, Hunnit, that's the break you look for. 3 down for FGCU. Poldo's going to have to go big, but look at this angle from Mox playing the front line. Poldo's not going to expect it. Druxy on the wing too. Now Mox looking towards the middle of the map. Going to cut off a few players. Make this a 2 versus 4 on the inside. Somebody's going to hop in for the contest. It's Minty. 1v1. Balla does not stay alive. Crazy has to stay on A.
Oh my God, from the brinks of death, Florida Gulf Coast bring that one back. It was so close to being off. And they somehow bring it back. The big thing, though, right now, Colin, is going to be that life differential. 7 life lead still here for Fisher.
Exactly. Druxy wiped off the face of the planet right there. Balla trades it out. Balla's tagged up, though, so Poldo, a relatively easy gunfight on the inside of Restaurant. 15 lives to 8. Jesse Minty cutting things down a little bit, sizing up Fisher Esports to something relatively manageable. Back into form for FGCU. Here comes the next wave of attack. Apollo threatened from pillars. Mox is going to take him down. Hunnit a second. Crazy is going to clear off the backside, but here comes the rest of them. Poldo 1v3. It's not going to happen. the last tick of progression for a Bala. Chandelier, 3 kills, make it 4 in a row, 20 and 13. As things come crashing down on FGCU. A second round for Fisher.
They take their time. They find the breaks. Now, Colin, what I'm interested on there is whether or not the... Thank you, production. So they did not get the tick. It came down to a kill at the end, and they didn't get the tick. So the lives right now, or the ticks right now, are 11-6 for Fisher. So if Florida Gulf Coast want final defense, they will need to get all 6 ticks of progression here. They can't win it on kills.
It's the exact same thing that costed St. Edwards that hotel map. Just a lapse of judgment in capturing the point. Fiasco gets killed early, and you don't get enough ticks at the end to beat out for that last defense. So here we see Fisher Esports in a similar position. Chance to put this one away in 3. FGCU, how long can they hang on? Apollo into the A zone. Bala's going to find the first. Bala gets 2, and Mox continues to flood forward. A clean 4 down, only losing out on 2.
Oh, and they don't get the B spawn this time either. You can see everybody on, even Fisher was expecting a B spawn to come through, as everybody pretty much rotates to the bottom side of the map. So this is a good opportunity now if you're Florida Gulf Coast to get back onto A very quickly here, but you do need to kind of go up against the ARs on the other side here, and Bala is in a great shot to shut you down. The rest of the players all coming off spawn. Oh, this is not good right now for FGCU. They are just losing all of the gunfights across the map. Already a massive life disadvantage of 6 lives inside of Fisher Esports.
Well, we've seen it before, Jesse. We've seen the comeback, but now without getting that A zone, 30 seconds left. This is definitely dangerous waters to be found in. 24 seconds. Minty's going to make the play. Big 2-piece opens up A. No players around just yet. You do have a flank from number 3. Mox is going to be the one to maybe open this up. Bala's going to call in that cruise missile. 3rd tick getting worked on. Is it going to get capped? Yes, it will. The hammer gets dropped, but it doesn't matter.
They got to get across the map really quickly here to block the spawn. They do block the spawn, so the spawn out for the likes of Florida Gulf Coast up towards the top right-hand side of the map. That's going to be a very tough spot to come off of. You need to work all your players across, and they will actually choose to send everybody through the defensive side of the map here to try to take control of their top side of bedroom and try to shut down these players from Fisher who are in the powerful positions at the moment.
Now for Fisher, this is your moment not to get too over-aggressive, too overzealous, and give up something of control to FGCU. 21 lives to 10. Might I remind you, it was 7 lives to 22 when FGCU pulled out that first offense win. They're used to fighting from behind against this team, but can they make the magic happen yet again? 8 lives to 20. 2 go down. Time dwindling, but Minty's still alive. Crazy's gonna drop, so things still slow for FGCU. And with Minty going down, you just don't have that forward pressure. Hunnit's allowed to slip into elevator. 16 seconds left, Jesse. Fisher ready to be the champions. Ready for the victory. Player spawning so far away. Bala for the 360. 5 seconds left. Players gotta get to the zone, but Apollo goes down. And Fisher Esports, your CCL Academy champions.
I don't think there was any doubt today that Fisher Esports was going to come out and walk away with the victory. This team looked so good from start to finish of the Academy playoffs. An undefeated map record in Academy playoffs. Unreal stuff from the boys over at Fisher College, I should say. And a great job there to finish it off in that last map, convincingly walking away with that final round of control. And Colin, I mean, it was a close control through the first 2, but I mean, Fisher Esports, they just hit that other level sometimes, and it's very hard for teams to keep up with that pacing. FGCU, a valiant effort, but they were not the better team here today, and Fisher Esports fully walks away with the deserved victory.
The flawless bracket, Jesse, for Fisher Esports. Not dropping a map in the postseason bracket. Look back at that hotel control, and from start to finish, I mean, you think that FGCU, yes, they were able to upset that one round. But aside from that, Fisher Falcons, they were in the driver's seat from the beginning, Jesse. And I have to say, I'm so impressed with some of these players. I think it's one thing to talk about for the Academy playoffs is there's no prize pool, which means every single player that came out to play in the Academy, pure passion passion flowing through their veins. And when it comes down to these 4 players on Fisher College, or any of the players that were fighting for a main spot on their varsity teams, these Fisher players definitely are knocking on the door of a future in Call of Duty, especially in collegiate Call of Duty with this squad. I mean, this is a squad of 4 players who could play up in the varsity series and still put up good numbers for a lot of these teams. So no doubt in my mind that these were going to be the champions today, and they get it done so good.
And you kind of say it there perfectly, right? These guys are playing not for any money right now, but they're playing for an opportunity. And winning this tournament here and winning out in the Academy Finals will put your name on the board for sure, and maybe get you an opportunity of being able to play for a main roster next year. It might not be for Fisher, because we all know how good the main Fisher roster is, but this Fisher Academy team has now absolutely set the tone for what is to be expected from these Fisher College teams. They come out, they walk away with the victory here. And I think that when you look at this Fisher College roster, they walk away with the victory inside of this Academy League. Now you look at the main league. The Fisher main roster is very, very talented as well. They're looking for their revenge from last year. The boys in Academy did it. Now it's their turn.
Well, we've talked a lot about the Fisher Falcons, Florida Gulf Coast Academy. It goes without saying. I mean, this is a team who, throughout all the turmoil through this bracket in the Academy, they stuck it out. They played together, and they played their hearts out, holding them on their shoulders. Poldo, Crazy, Apollo, Minty. Without a doubt in my mind, this isn't the last we will see of these players, Jesse. And in particular, I will say, you know, not the best series out of Apollo, but still room to grow. I cannot wait to see these players again in the future of CCL.
Yeah, Florida Gulf Coast, I mean, they did a great job, right? They got all the way here. We knew it was going to be a tough match, Colin, going up against Fisher Esports nonetheless. But you got to give them their flowers where they're due. They still put up a good performance here. I mean, the score might not look like it, but they definitely put on a bit of a fight there against Fisher Esports. Because unfortunately, at the end of the day, I mean, Fisher is just a different beast to go up against.
It really is, really is. 250 to 92 in the hard point. Fisher start off with a 100-point club to really set the mood for this grand final. 6-2 dominance in the search and destroy. 3-1 in the control. They don't look back. They don't stop at go. They run straight through, collect their winning. And here you are, your champions of your 2023 College COD Academy playoffs. Fisher Esports, Bala, Hunnit, Moxed, and Druxy.
And what terrifies me for this team, Colin, is Bala and Hunnit are both freshmen. They have looked so good in a freshman year for College COD. And the best part is both these players never even played COD before this year. And they already are looking demonic when it comes to playing at the collegiate level. These two players, I think, could have a very bright future inside of Call of Duty if they can continue on this warpath that they're on right now and can continue to get better and better. Just keep learning, just keep getting better, just keep on winning if you're Fisher Esports. It was a fantastic showing from them here today in this season.
I have to say it, Jesse. I mean, this is the first time in a while I've seen a player pick up the sticks like Hunnit and just have so much raw talent. I said it before the grand final started during our pre-show, and I'm going to say it again now. I mean, this kid, he's got a future inside of the CCL, and I cannot wait to see Hunnit again. Bala, like you said, alongside him, I mean, a Splitgate pros, so you knew he was going to be good. You knew that, you know, he was going to transition over and still be a good performing player. But to put up numbers like this, to be as dominant of a team as Fisher were through the academy, not dropping a single map is just a different level. This team has grown. They've played against varsity teams. They've beaten varsity teams. And right now they played against academy teams, and they looked untouchable.
Yeah, they really did. The one thing I'm going to need to see now from Hunnit is to see what Hunnit can do up on the main roster, because we've seen what Druxy can do. We've seen what Bala can do. So now I need to see Hunnit up on that main roster at some point, whether it be next year, whether it be this year at some point throughout the playoffs if he needs to fill in for a matchup or whatever. I'm sure that they have the absolute capability of doing so, and they look really good. So yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm very excited to see the future for these two players.
Well, Jesse, that's going to be about it for us here for the Academy Finals. Fisher Esports, the champions, undeniably Any finishing thoughts from you, bud? Because playoffs coming up soon for the varsity side of things, and that's going to be a heater.
I mean, I kind of said it a little bit earlier, but I think that this really sets the tone, right, for what to expect from Fisher Esports. They come out, they win the Academy. You know they're going to be putting on their full force and their full effort to come out to win the main championship as well this year. They got robbed of it last year just under a different school name. They're looking for the revenge this year, and I think that they have a very good opportunity. That Fisher Esports roster is going to be a talented team and a tough team to go up against for anybody.
Well, folks, stick close to College COD on Twitter. We got playoffs coming up on Saturday. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a great one, but that's all from Cruz and I tonight. We'll see you later with more College COD. Take care.